back to the Beyond Appearance show. I'm your host, Keston Rodriguez, and today we have a very special guest, Josh Grimmer. Josh Grimmer comes with a wealth of experience, over 10 plus years in the Army. He's a family man. He loves his dogs. He's an average golfer. So we're looking to hear some good stuff from him today. Talk about himself. Thank you for meeting with us today. So let's dive like right into it. Give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Just as to why I joined and all that, or
Yeah,
just
you know,
family
like where
upbringing.
you're from, like where you grew up. You
Okay.
know, you don't have to go really deep in there, but just kind of like give us a little bit of the audience a little bit of idea.
Okay. Well, I'm from Holiday, Florida, and it's not the best little area. I mean, there's a lot of drugs there, but
Okay.
it's not the best little area, but it's an area. Um, I love Florida. My wife absolutely hates Florida. I would love to go back. She would not.
Fair,
So,
fair.
other than that, that's really it. There wasn't much going on there. College was just taking too long, so I ended up just going the route with the Army, so it was easier.
So when you say Holiday, Florida, you were born there.
Yes.
So you know the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area.
Mm,
Uh,
no.
is it not Holiday, Florida?
Holiday's like more like between Brooksville and Tampa area.
Oh, okay.
And Clearwater.
Oh, West Side. West
Yeah,
Side.
yeah.
Okay, Holiday.
Yeah, Holiday.
What you call? You know what I was thinking? Hollywood, Florida.
Oh, Hollywood,
Okay,
yeah, okay.
Holiday. Okay, West Side. All right. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of like farmland over there too, right?
Somewhat. I mean, not too much, but yeah. It's
So
more of
what?
Brooksville area is farm.
So what it is like to do there? Like, did you go like elementary school, high school there?
Yeah, I went to elementary, high school there, and that's where I decided to join the Army because there's nothing to do out
To
there.
develop there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that side really well. State Road 50, I believe, passed through.
Yeah,
Over that
50's
side
over
of
there,
town.
54, the 19, yeah.
And then you have the 75 going
Yeah, going straight
north or
north.
south. Okay, okay, good stuff. What was like high school like for you, if you don't mind me asking?
I was a loner.
Uh,
I played high school football, and that was about it. I didn't talk too much. I was just to myself majority of the time.
okay, what
So
type of what position you play?
I played defense and offense, but mainly defense as a corner.
Okay,
Yep.
good stuff for my football fans out there. Here. I know you're into like football and stuff. Like, do you
Yeah.
watch it like every weekend during season?
Every weekend. I mean, I don't like watching it on Saturdays because FSU kind of has a hit or miss season.
So your
Yeah.
favorite college team is who?
Florida State.
Florida State.
Yeah.
All right, go
Yep.
Florida State. And then do you have like a favorite NFL team?
Yep. Tampa Bay.
Tampa
All
Bay.
that,
Oh,
yep.
go Bucks, right?
Yep. Go Bucks. Got to.
Okay. So you don't have no other team that you
No other
root
team.
for that's
Yep.
like
That's it.
die hard.
Die hard.
Good stuff. Good
Right.
stuff. So when in high school did you just decide to join the army, or you like waited a while?
Yeah, it was a little bit, a couple of years after high school. I joined when I was 21, so I was going to college first, and then it was just taking so long, and it was just a lot of work to go through college, and a lot of stress, and then staying with my parents at the same time. I wasn't going anywhere, so I just decided to just join, get out of
Okay.
my parents' house, and kind of get up on my own.
Good stuff. And so,
So
what going to college, like, what did that look like? What I mean by what it looked like is like, so you would just go to school and like, what did you do for work that decided to like, yeah, I
uh,
gotta move to the army?
uh, so I was in retail. I was a assistant manager there at the retail store. Then I moved over to being an apprentice for electrician.
Okay.
So it was nice, but it was hot. Digging holes just wasn't it. So
Okay.
decided to move on.
And so then, you decided to join. Like, what was that initial process look like? Did you ask your parents for permission,
No,
or
my
was
parents
it?
were all for it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because my sister was already in. She was in 2 years prior to me, and so from there they kind of more or less pushed me to go that route.
Okay.
So that's where I went.
Your sister is like army,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
okay.
She's a recruiter over there in I think North Carolina now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so she's still in.
Yes.
Okay.
She's
Nice.
our first class over there. She's
Good.
station commander.
Okay. So
So
you're kind of like you're catching up to her.
oh, she's trying to keep up with me.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
But yeah.
I usually like to ask the guests like, okay, yes, you decided to join, but like, kind of give like the viewer, someone who wanted to join the army, like what would that process look like? Can you share a little bit of that experience, like initially going down to like the station,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
recruiting station, and like what that process looked like.
So it never hurts to talk to a recruiter because there's always a bunch of different options that you can join going into the Army with. So, and the benefits kind of change a little bit here and there from year to year. So it doesn't hurt to talk to a recruiter. What they're going to do is they're going to sit you down. They're going to talk to you and your parents or just you, whichever way you feel more comfortable with. They can meet you at your school, your house, doesn't matter where. From there, you're going to fill out a form essentially saying, hey, I'm thinking about joining the Army. You can back out of the process at any point. It's not like, hey, I went down to MEPS, swore in, and I'm stuck for good.
Okay.
You can back out, and you're not going to receive any penalty. I mean, the recruiter's going to be a little mad, but it's your life.
Nice.
So from there, once you fill out the form, it's just a medical form, kind of see what your history is, and so that way the recruiter knows, like, hey, we need to get some more documents from here to there. A lot of people have confusions like, hey, I need to be physically fit to join the Army. That's the biggest misconception right there. The Army will get you prepared to be in the Army, essentially. So as long as you're making height and weight to leave, the Army will do the rest for you. So once you fill out that form, the recruiter will kind of reserve a job for you. If you want to reserve a job then, if you don't, cool. But typically we'll reserve a job for you. You'll go down to MEPS, take the test, and as long as you score high enough for that job, you'll keep that job. And then you'll swear in if you pass the whole medical portion. If you didn't pass the medical portion, you'll come back. We'll collect the documents that we need, and then we'll send you back down to go swear in at MEPS, wherever it is for that city.
Okay. And so if like a new prospect comes into like the recruiting station, like,
Mhm.
and like they don't know, do they have like some sort of like mentorship program in there in recruiting stations? So like to actually help them with the process, so they don't feel like they're in it alone. Does
For
that
what?
make sense?
No.
So like, all right, so if I come into your station, right,
Yep.
as a prospect, and I'm like, hey, I want to join the military, but I don't know like what to do. Like, do you guys like sit them down and kind of like lay them out, like this is what the options looks like?
Yeah, so like from day one, like when you walk into the recruiter station and you ask like, hey, what is the day-to-day kind of thing is like in the Army, they're gonna tell you everything. And then the whole process will break down the whole process of what to expect. Um, the forms before we have anybody sign anything, if you're under 18, you have to have a parent there to sign off. But over 18, it's just you that has to sign. But before you sign anything, we explain absolutely everything in depth. Um, some recruiters are a little shady, but most of them are honest, and they're gonna be like, hey, this is what your options are. They're gonna show you the jobs that are actually your options, um, according to your practice test, because we'll sit you down and do a practice test for the ASVAB to see what you would possibly score, and then from there we'll pull up the jobs with that practice score, and then from there you'll just pick whatever you want,
So
and you'll see bonuses.
I have another question because like I'm curious, like, so on day one, right?
Mhm.
So when you come into the station on day one, the recruiting station on day one, what does day one look like?
Day one is just that form. So essentially, we're going to sit down and explain the whole Army to you, and then if you say this is something I want to do, then from there, that's when we'll start filling out your medical history. We'll sit you down, do a practice test, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
It's not a long process at all.
And then after that, it's just like you would just meet occasionally,
Yeah.
just for any.
So it depends on the future soldier leader. Sometimes they want to see them as often as 3 days a week,
Okay.
and that's just to kind of build rapport and kind of understand what to expect from the Army when you go to basic training. So we'll do like a lot of physical training.
Okay.
Or in our instance, we'll smoke them a little bit. Um, but then we'll put people in leadership positions as well, so that way they get the understanding like how to lead PT and everything before they even leave for basic training, and so it makes it a little bit easier for them. It also improves it to where, say that soldier comes in or that applicant comes in, and they're doing the future soldier program, and they have a friend at school that they want to have experience. They can actually bring their friends to the future soldier program and just work out with us.
Okay.
without filling out any paperwork or anything.
Anything. So they just kind of like they can bring in
Yeah,
other prospects and stuff too.
absolutely.
What do you find is like the hardest thing for new prospects when they come to decide to join the army and at a recruiting station to be recruited?
I,
Like, what do you find are the hardest?
I think they get in their own heads that they have to be physically fit, and they're not going to be physically fit enough for the demands of the army. I think that's the biggest thing.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's the only obstacle I've ever faced.
And
Like,
what is some of like some things that hold back a prospect from actually joining the army?
felonies, any felonies, that's typically a no go. They don't like to see that. Um, anything medical that's going to cause issues down the line. So like cancer, cancer is a huge one. I ran into that a few times. Um, some broken bones and ligaments. If you can't perform something that the army needs you to perform, they look down on that too. So if you have like a broken elbow or something like that, that you can't do push-ups anymore, or you have ligaments torn, then they're not going to let you in.
And your best advice for any prospect trying to join the army is just be honest because you'll find out right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And because it's like a really in-depth process
Yeah.
regarding like the medical
Yeah.
and your background. I wanna just touch a little bit not to go backwards because now we know you're a recruit. You've been a recruiter for a few years, and now you're back in TRADOC. Uh, what would you say is did you choose to go to recruiting school
Yes.
or you got selected?
No, I chose to go there. I needed a bonding assignment for my sergeant first class, so I just decided to get it out of the way pretty quick. So as soon as I pinned E6 staff sergeant, I just decided to drop a volunteer packet, and I got it.
And what is like for someone who's already in the army and they're deciding to go to recruiting school? Like, what are some things to expect at recruiting school?
At recruiting school, it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. They're going to teach you tactics to kind of get around the no and how to be in the regulations. So some recruiters are going to be like, hey, you can't join because of this and this, but they don't know the regs.
Mm-hmm.
So and that person might be qualified. So you have to live in the regs out there in recruiting to be a good recruiter, unless you have a lot of volume going through your station, which I did not. Duluth, Minnesota is very, very slow.
Did they choose that recruiting station for you, or
Yes.
how does the process work up there
So
when you're at Fort Knox?
they give you a list of 10 places that you can choose from. You have to choose 2 in each brigade, and then so I chose 2 in each brigade and made the mistake of putting Minnesota at like number 9 or 10.
Oh, so they give you your number 9
Yeah.
10 choice.
Yep, they ignored all my East Coast choices and gave me Minnesota.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so how was that experience?
Minnesota was lovely. I love Minnesota. I mean, it's cold. Cold.
So I've heard before from other recruiters that walk-on market. What is a walk-on market?
So a walk-on market
when
is
you get to your station.
typically you see that down south more. I don't know what it is about down south, but down south recruiting is so much easier. I mean, you still have to put in the effort as a recruiter, but you have what's called a walk-in market where the kids will just walk in the office and want to join. It's just finding that qualified applicant at that point. In Duluth, Minnesota, you don't have kids walking in. It's a college kind of town, so they're not going to typically want to walk in and think Army is their first choice.
So are you competing up there in Minnesota with like other branches of service, or is it just like Army recruiter station around?
Mainly National Guard. Up there, National Guard is very heavy. National Guardists, they know the kids' families. They went to school with them and everything because they stay in the state once they enlist. So they know the families from like elementary school.
So when you were there, like most of the prospects that you put in the army was like, I want to do National Guard.
Yeah, most time.
And so how does that work? Because I was also told that like as a recruiter, you get like something like, is it more points for putting an active duty soldier in versus a National Guard?
I don't know how the whole point system works because I never really bothered it. I mean, Duluth, Minnesota, you're not going to get the gold badge unless you're really good at your job.
Okay, okay.
I kept a 1.0 right rate where I was putting one in a month, and
Yeah,
that's
so
all that
you
was
did
required.
just enough
Yeah, it did
to
just enough to survive out there.
okay. And if you had to do, if you had to be a recruiter again, would you be a recruiter again?
If they can guarantee me down south, I would.
Okay.
If like Florida or like Georgia or anywhere, I'm cool with that.
And cool with that.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff, good stuff. So let's dive into. Okay, so after recruiting, right?
Hmm.
And you finish your recruiting duty. Where did you go next?
I went to Fort Riley, and
How
it was
how, how was that experience like?
interesting. It's not. It wasn't set up like a normal maintenance team. It was more like a request for a maintenance team. So
Okay, they have a name for it.
yeah, master surge or maintenance surge team.
The maintenance search team.
Yeah.
So is this new concept that the army come up with to help vehicles, Bradley fighting vehicles, or Abraham tanks when other units need the help, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
When they're shorthanded. Yeah.
so what was that experience like? You don't have to go like dive like really deep in there, but like to give like a general idea. Maybe there's someone who's already a maintainer or
Yeah.
someone's going to school to be a maintainer, and then they're gonna eventually end up at a unit like that.
So what to expect is you're going to be moving around a lot. So typically the requests usually last like 30 days. So you're going to see some pretty messed up Bradleys and tanks. You're going to get some of these soldiers straight out of AIT where it's training, and they're not going to know much. So they're never going to see a perfect looking Bradley. They're
Okay.
always going to be working on Bradleys that are messed up consistently. So it's hard for them to learn their jobs the correct way. Um, Riley was a little messed up. The leadership was a little off, if you could say.
Let's just say, yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna be bouncing around from unit to unit. That's the hardest part. And you're gonna fix one thing, and then next week you're gonna be working on one that looks just like that. So it's nonstop work.
So it's always a constant having to go in there and solve problems with the
Yep.
vehicle or diagnose the vehicles for any issues that hasn't gotten solved. And your
Exactly.
team went in there and try to address those.
Exactly. Yep.
Mm. And so, how does the makeup look like? You don't have to give like the exact numbers and stuff for like what a team look like, but on average, you have like how many guys with you?
So typically it's two teams, and they're supposed to be able to split in half and deploy separately. So they have it set up like that. They have a team chief on each side, and they have about 15, 20 soldiers of each. So they try to separate it like half and half for half Bradley mechanics and half Abrams mechanics.
Abrams mechanics.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a break, and then after the break, we'll dive deep into some other stuff, like and try to like pick your brain a little bit and get
Okay.
some stuff out of you. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. Well, before we get started with the second half of the interview, I would like for you to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. We are getting views, but we're not getting subscribers. So all I ask is a token of appreciation is to hit the subscribe button so we can get this message out here to someone who is thinking about deciding to join the army or the military and hear from leaders like Josh, who is serving and leading troops every single day. All right, so welcome back again. Let's finish off with Riley. You know, like, do you like that assignment, or is it something like you wouldn't go back to?
I personally would not go back to it because the way you move around, you can't really take ownership of those Bradleys that you kind of work on. So when you have a group of soldiers that take ownership in a Bradley, they're more prideful in those Bradleys to be fixed and kind of worked on, as to where if they're going to different units, they're not going to put their full effort into it and stay late and work on it because they already know it's going to be, they're going to go move on to the next thing afterwards.
So I'm with you with that. So okay, so all right, if you don't mind sharing, like, what would be a fix for that though? Like, what are your thoughts though?
I think it should be more along the lines is more experienced soldiers being out there, like specialists or E5, that has the knowledge to be able to be sent off into little smaller groups, so that way they don't have to have the oversight of a staff sergeant or a sergeant first class, and they can just go off and do their own thing, and I can feel the MST could fulfill more requests at the same time without that oversight,
So you're
and it'd be faster.
so you're saying is um, the guys who are going out from the MST should be more seasoned,
Exactly.
well rounded leaders who can experts are in an advanced troubleshooting and
Exactly.
stuff. So they're the ones who would provide what do you call like the knowledge to the guys who are currently on the teams for that unit.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
I think I like that idea also too. It's
Yep.
just like for leaders at the high echelon
Yeah.
to get buy-in for that and
Yeah.
take feedback from someone like yourself who had experience working in there. What would you rate? I always like to ask, what would you rate the duty station? So last guest we had on here, he'd rate Riley like high. Like, what would you rate Riley as in regards to as a duty station, Fort Riley, Kansas, to be exact?
Oof. Uh, the only benefit is you don't have to deal with any traffic. There's nothing out there. So if you like to hunt and stay outdoors, I mean, it's not bad. So I'll give it that maybe. But there's no like pretty sights or anything like that. You have only like a few hills. Mainly it's flat. So I would say a good, being generous, maybe 6. Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah.
It's
I would
under
say.
the previous guest, but okay,
Yeah.
6. Fair enough. And so that's like off work. So what do you say on work? I know.
On work?
You're giving the
That
perspective from the MST, right? The
Yeah.
maintenance search team.
That one I would give like a 4. I would not go back to that.
Fair,
So
fair,
yeah.
fair. Good stuff. So I'm glad that you had that experience though. Hopefully, if anyone noticed you and they wanted to get a perspective, if they're going to a search team, obviously, they
Yeah.
can probably reach out and get your perspective on that. And so after you left Fort Riley, then you come over here
Yes.
to Fort Benning, Georgia, where we are located right now. And would you mind sharing like your experience as a Army instructor for the Bradley Fighting Vehicle?
Oh, I love this job. This job is a good kneel down, kind of slower paced kind of job. And you're teaching the next generation, so that way you're getting more of the quality soldiers getting pushed out to the line teams, and they're not completely lost in the sauce when they come out. We can't teach them everything, so there's going to be a little bit of a gap when they first get out there, but at least we can push out at least the amount of knowledge we have and kind of mold the next generation.
What do you think that someone who's coming to be a 91 Mike, right? A Bradley Fighting Vehicle System maintainer, like what would you recommend that person come with?
Just the right mindset. That's the main thing. Are you talking about for the instructor side?
For the
For
training,
students.
yeah, the students, the training.
Just to come with the mindset of learning. Don't just give up when it gets hard. That's the biggest thing. A lot of them want to just give up when it gets hard, or they fail a test and they're like, oh man, I'm not going to make it as a Bradley mechanic, and I don't want to work with my hands. Just have the right mindset and just do it.
Fair. I want to dive into like some special interests, like what you're into. You would like to share some of like your hobbies or what you do in your pastime when you're not at work?
I just work on a lot of things. So I used to have some cars I used to work on, so I do a lot of maintenance on the side. I do a lot of maintenance for people as well. That's the biggest hobby. And then I'm not good at it, but I do golf.
Golf. So you
I go golfing. I wouldn't call myself a golfer, but
so you go golfing. You're not a golfer.
exactly.
I mean, look. Yeah, at least you're out there. I think golfing is fun though. Just for the audience to know, like, I mean, you and I, we golfed already, and I would say you're okay, you're decent, you know what I mean? I think you'd be able to, in golf score terms, you can, like, have really low hundreds, I guess.
Yeah, I would say low hundreds, yeah.
I mean, hopefully you get better to drop down in the 80s and then in
If,
the 90s one day.
yeah.
Good stuff. And so I know you have dogs, right?
Yes.
What are those to you? Like, what are like share that experience like having them, like is it a lot of work for you or
No.
like you enjoy?
They're great dogs. They listen to us most of the time. We do have five of them, so it's just a handful for that, and they eat a lot, and that's about it.
Five, nice.
Yeah.
And they keep you busy.
Oh yeah, they keep us busy.
What
They're like our kids.
do they have their own like personalities?
Oh yeah, every single one of them.
Every single one
Every
of them,
single
huh?
one of them.
Oh wow. So which one would you say like what is the hardest thing in attending to them, like because it's five of them, like what would be like your hardest challenge for having five dogs?
They're really the hardest challenge. I mean, there's times where like three of them want to go outside, and the other two don't want to go outside. So like 30 minutes later, you're letting them back out again.
Oh, okay, so it's like
Yeah, it's like a
yeah,
little rotation thing
it's
that
like
they
a
go.
rotation, and now you have to be there for them.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's about the hardest thing, but they make it easy. They're good dogs.
no, good stuff,
So
good stuff. And one one final ask is usually we ask everyone like what piece of advice you would give someone who is wanting to join the army but they don't know, or the military, but they don't know where to begin or how to start or what type of mindset or attitude like
yeah,
you say to have, like what would be.
I would say the first start, just go talk to a recruiter. I know some of them are super pushy. If they're super pushy, ask to talk to a different recruiter. Um, Most of them are super friendly. They're going to put you in the right direction. They're going to give you the mindset of what to do, expect, and everything like that. You are not going to be forced to sign anything. They're just there to give you the knowledge and everything that you need to push forward if you choose to do so. You can see jobs that way that are available, and go into a field that you absolutely love. Don't go into a field that you're going to hate going into. Some people see the bonuses and they're like, hey, I want to be a mechanic because there's a 45
Bonus.
grand bonus. And then they hate the job. And was that 45 grand really worth it? So,
No, not at all.
exactly.
For something
So,
that you have to suck with and
exactly.
deal with, right?
So,
Yeah, I'm with you with pick the field that you really like, but I would say like joining the army, and regardless of all the whatever field you do join, you're not going to necessarily join to be, let's say for example, a mechanic, but you
yeah.
still have to be have that warrior mindset, that leader,
Yep.
that's someone who has to develop themselves and also develop their subordinates, right?
Yep.
So just have an open mind of being a leader, being able to like learn to develop others, but also develop yourself in the process. Any final thoughts or any shout outs or anything that you're working on or projects that anyone needs to know?
No, I got no project going on right now.
Okay.
So,
Um, Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today. Hopefully, you're more than welcome anytime to come back and talk.
absolutely.
We can also create a panel too, so that way we can kind of like dive even deeper into the recruiting process. Because I think yourself and some of your battle buddies, your peers in them, have a lot of wealth of experience from recruiting, and definitely there's someone out there that can take some sort of piece of advice from you guys. So again, I appreciate you taking the time to come on and sit with us and share a little bit about your story and your background for our audience. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right.